Thanks for being here, Marcelle. It's so nice to meet you after all our online conversations and webinars and all this stuff. Maybe as a starting point, and thank you so much for being here, and also you just helped me out with this session, which is amazing. It's so good to have an extra pair of eyes and hands and consciousness.
It was nice to be there. It was nice to see it in person. I've seen all the videos on the website and they have been helpful, but to actually see it live has a lot of impact.
Nice.
It's a good experience for me, I think.
Cool. And I was wondering, what is the reason you're here today for yourself? Why did you feel like you want to be part of this?
Well, I joined Host to Transform because I realized that I wanted to learn more about being able to connect people and learning how I can create more momentum with myself, and also to create a freelance training company where I can use some of this experience to help me benefit in that. I wanted to join today to get to know you better in person and to be able to see exactly how the exercises are working in a live format, to better understand the impact and actually see the energy flow, and talk to some of the people who did the exercises to understand what they were benefiting from. Mm-hmm. So that was really, I'm really happy I have done that now.
Amazing. So you could also see this could become like a little community, because if other people would host this session today, then others can visit them again, and then
it has a ripple effect, because it's actually a brilliant set of exercises, but the message is so simple. It's simply connecting people, and I think we forget to know how to do that. And working in a corporate environment or working on your own, behind your own laptop to drive your own business, the connectivity is the key. And the exercises are a perfect way to be able to do that.
Yeah. And well, we met before, of course. We already said hi, so I don't want to be so repetitive. But I have to think back what you said about your own work. So you really focus your freelance work on vulnerability.
That's right.
And why is this topic? You immediately start to smile.
Yeah.
It does something for you. So why is this so important for you as a person? But maybe also why is it the added value that people should tap into?
Well, I noticed myself in doing the exercises that it allowed me to be more vulnerable with myself. So it tackled some of the things I was feeling afraid of. It was tackling some of the things that were making me uncomfortable. And through realizing that I felt that way and that I could also remove that for myself, a light bulb went on in terms of driving vulnerability for other people. So learning how to use these exercises to share a message of getting people in touch with their vulnerability and helping it to unlock some of the things that they feel stuck about, to let things flow. So for me, after doing some of the work together with you online and having a look at the exercises, it was easy to create a training program using the exercises to help people on this topic specifically. So for me, that it has been a great launching pad into a sort of spin-off training concept of unlocking vulnerability in others. But the exercises are equally useful if you were part of a learning and development team working at a corporate company. If you see that you are struggling with issues with the team you're working with, it would be equally beneficial in that context as well. So I think that's the beauty of the program, is that for everybody there is something that they can benefit from or take away. And it therefore has a big ripple effect, because it might be things you're dealing with, but it might also be things you can see your team dealing with, or it could be something you want to develop further as a business.
Yeah.
So it has different layers.
And because the hurdle that we still have to overcome, or to embrace maybe, is that some people feel like, an online program, how can that help me to connect others and to connect better with myself? And some people feel that technology is difficult, and what is your perspective on that?
Well, I understand the concerns. I'm also not somebody who loves technical life, but I find the benefit of the online program is that it's extremely flexible. The technology is quite easy because you just get connected to an online program that's taking place. So if you have a mail address and a laptop, it's pretty straightforward. The community is linked easily through an online program where everybody is visible. You're connecting just as you would do in a live program. So you're working in one group, or sometimes you're taken to separate meeting rooms where you can connect with people, and then you're brought back. So it's kind of varied and it's useful, the tool. I would say to anybody, give it a try, because there's nothing to be afraid of. It's very easy. And it's very flexible, so you don't need to, organize a babysit or leave the house or work on transportation to get there. You're sitting in your own house, so it's very easy to coordinate.
Yeah, and it did also, if I'm correct, motivate you to translate it into practice, right? To
exactly.
Either search for a peer, like another member of the Euros Transform platform. And if you wouldn't have met her locally, then most probably would you have kickstarted the workshop yourself as well, or?
I would have kickstarted the workshop, but the other really big benefit of the program are the people who are in it. So there's a lot of practitioners that come with tons of experience and are very helpful in bouncing ideas off of. And for me, it was great to link with another lady in the group who I often see online. Meeting with her in person was even better because we could share some of the practices we were focusing on through the program. And we're similar-minded people because of the nature of the program. And it's helped, I think, both of us feel more confident in moving forward with our own businesses.
Yeah. So do you still feel, because I'm kind of biased, I haven't worked in a multinational forever, but all the time when I hear those stories, how the culture of multinationals, of course not all of them, but stories that I hear, sometimes toxic, people disconnected from themselves, very money driven, people do not really know why they do what they do. Well, by now they might become typical stories for me. Is this what we do? Is it still? Are we still swimming against the stream? Is there already a pivot point that people start to be open for these kind of exercises that we just explored? And well, yoga is becoming more of a hit, but can this become a yoga movement?
Definitely. I come from a corporate background. I have 20 years of corporate experience. And I have most recently worked at Nike here in Holland, so really working in a corporate international environment where people from different cultures are part of one team, and you're often working on global initiatives. These exercises would have been really helpful to be able to connect our team. The people who aren't there could be connecting in online. There's definitely benefits to being able to help people feel connected, to help them maybe overcome their fear of not wanting to connect so easily, or maybe feeling afraid to reach out for help, or maybe not wanting to say what they find difficult. These exercises, I think, give you a way to do that which makes you feel less hindered. And I think it would be great if more corporations or more companies found a way to be able to connect their employees or team members, to give them that energy that I think these exercises do so well. I think
really to start to build, if I'm correct, in my world, it's more of a community inside a company that people feel a member of, or could even be an ecosystem.
Exactly. I think a lot of times you kind of get stuck because maybe your coworker says something or does something, and then you're kind of on the wrong page, or your manager works in a way that you find a bit tricky. These exercises would just kind of get rid of some of those kind of sticky points, would help you flow. It would give you the confidence to kind of say, hey, let's do a check-in. How are you? What's bothering you about this? And it would kind of give people a language that they could use, which would not be available normally.
Yeah, you can already see it happening now, right? People
Yeah.
just strangers shaking hands. How can I help you?
Exactly.
It's like a question people often don't dare to ask, or feel like intimidated, or
And I think if one person does that, there would be a big knock-on effect. If one person kind of gave a culture of openness and allowing people to share resources and to give them this connection, it would have a very positive effect on everybody in the team.
Yeah.
It helps you to get to know the other people better. It helps to give you the chance to ask questions which maybe they wouldn't do. And I think it really, just doing the exercise together, which sometimes feels a little bit awkward. Some people find it a little bit awkward to walk around in circles or, do these exercises. But doing them together builds a sort of bond.
Yeah.
Which
it's like
is nice
building a float on the water and together, back in the days.
Yeah, okay, we've all done it now.
Building a tree house together.
Yeah.
Because it's irrational what we do, and that's the whole point. And sometimes you see people judging a little bit, but I'm surprisingly happy also today how people came in and they were a little bit like Bambi eyes, what's happening here, and then suddenly they just clicked. Because everyone was doing it and they were part of that collective, and you saw introverts talking with extroverts, people from different disciplines and all that, so everyone is equal. You can feel the like you mentioned before, the human-centeredness
exactly.
of it. Oh, there's like
and I think people really like that. I think they've probably been at their laptop. I think they probably, are so focused, as we all are, on getting our things done and being able to make the most of their time that they are working here. So just having sort of 5 minutes of, collaboration is really, really beneficial.
Yeah, and that's also interesting that often we have still the belief that when we work hard and it's difficult and you're behind your laptop 10 hours, I'm one of them. Yesterday I worked here till 1 o'clock for the stupid e-reader that I'm writing, and then you feel like you do something. Well, if I would have walked through the building all day and just say, hey, can you maybe help me write, or it would have flowed way better and it would have felt less isolated.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people wouldn't even think of that.
I
think a lot of people would just think, this is what I've got to do, I'm going to go and do it.
I'm by myself.
And now all of a sudden you get a different mindset, which I have definitely experienced. I've never worked like this before, and I wish I had a knowledge of this kind of working behavior when I was actually working in a corporate environment. Just to be able to switch your thinking. I think it would have made it easier.
And also by providing the session, like you said, it's already an exercise on itself, because you're the one, like we mentioned before, that you are actually trying to be comfortable with your own comfort.
Exactly.
Right? Because you make people feel uncomfortable a little bit on the edge, not too much, because then it gets panic zone. And you have to be okay with that. Because if not, then you try to fix something which is not fixable or you shouldn't fix, because it's their process.
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it, because I feel like when you realize that you can be in a position to help other people become a little bit uncomfortable, to make them comfortable, that's when the beauty's happening. They are leaving their comfort zone and they're stepping out, they're evolving and transforming, and that's exactly what you want. And actually we can all do that. And you don't think you can, but you can. And when you realize that, that's where I think the magic is happening. And if more people could find out about that, I think it would just be a benefit to everybody. Whether
it can save so much. It could save you a lifetime.
Right? It could. I mean, it would make it easier to flow with personal relationships. It would make it easier to flow in a business environment. It would make your day easier in terms of how you want to flow it. I think you don't know what you don't know until you start to think about things differently, and this kind of program allows you to do that.
Low threshold, easy to do.
Exactly.
You could do it repetitive, like yoga. It's not about having different exercises all the time, because the outcome is always different. And then what I personally love, it's also getting your mind off your worries. So with yoga, you also have to you're focused on something else than your worries, and that distracts you from your daily sorrows maybe. And these momentums by connecting with others is also doing that, because often, I mean, I love yoga, mindfulness, and all that. It's not a and, or it's really a plus. But what I feel is that people sometimes forget to connect with others, and it's really about, dealing with your own mind, embrace it, being centered, breathing exercises in the morning, doing all your routines, all for, to empower yourself, of course, to be able to empower others. But I think you can do it simultaneously.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if we simultaneously in an exercise feel empowered, and therefore we can lift each other, that's like the extra synergy you cannot get from a yoga mat. I mean, again, it's not to bash anything, because I love yoga, but I think it's a plus.
It is, yeah. I think it's all about learning how to feel comfortable in your own skin and then sharing that with others. And I think yoga is very good about getting yourself comfortable and peaceful and centered. And these exercises are then great to share that with others.
Yeah.
They both have a place in terms of finding an ideal scenario.
Yeah.
And I feel like what I think is also really helpful is that it's so easy to use these exercises in all different aspects of your life. So, if you have, like I said, with a personal relationship or with a work-related issue or just something for yourself, if you realize that you can step a little bit out of your comfort zone or ask yourself some questions or feel a little bit of that connection, you just start to work a little bit differently.
Yeah.
That's really great. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. So, well, this is just the beginning. Where would you see this? Yeah, and also yourself, include yourself. Where would you see this going? And I'm not talking about business models, just free flow of thought. What do you see for Host Transform and your role in it?
I hope that I can really build a vulnerability program using these amazing exercises to help more people feel comfortable with their vulnerability and help them unlock some of the issues that I myself have been dealing with.
So it's a little bit of therapy, but it's not officially therapy.
No,
in that sense.
No, and that's the really nice thing. It's very tangible, it's very easy, and with the program it's really helped me, and I feel like I'm just starting this now and I would love to really develop that further.
Yeah.
So for me personally, that would be a great opportunity, and it's something I really want to focus on. And Host to Transform, I hope will find its way as a brand that most companies should be using as a tool to help motivate their teams and help unlock some of the issues that they're facing. I think the exercises are really helpful to facilitate that, and I hope that there is a sort of broader audience waiting to take advantage of it, because I think it's really suited to that.
Yeah, so you can kind of see the springboard effect as well. So it's not so much that Host to Transform takes over the world, which could be, but it's empowering others to empower others again.
Exactly.
That's kind of the roots.
Well, and just like the name says, Host to Transform, it's about everybody feeling like they can transform themselves, can transform the people they're working with, and maybe find a message that they want to use to help transform a larger audience. So the beauty is that the basis is already there. Mm-hmm. So it's about how people want to use it. But I think
it's your fingertips.
It is. It is, and I think it's great for more people who know how to do that. There should soon be a ripple effect of seeing it on every level, really.
Beautiful. And a last question about the Host to Transform. There are some techie people that think it's maybe an online hosting service, which is not the case. And it's funny because we get our programs online right now, so it becomes kind of a hosting online program to transform. But how do you see, how does it, if somebody would ask you, Host to Transform, what does it mean? What would you say?
Yeah, I thought that at first too, because you weren't really sure how that would work. But the nice thing is that there is a very clear website that shows all of the different exercises and why they're working with videos to explain it even in more detail. And the information to it is there at everyone's fingertips. So it doesn't feel techy to me or difficult. It online is just really to help make it more global. But the access to the website is such that the information is there. So you could in person, if you could multiply yourself 1,000-fold, could do the same thing. But the information is really obvious. And the benefit of it is there. So, and then I think the online program allows you to have the feedback, to ask the questions you need to ask. So it doesn't feel impersonal. It just feels kind of convenient.
Yeah, because we also continuously develop and learn from each other and case stories we share.
Exactly.
It's not that we invented the world. It's changing so fast, so it would be kind of weird if we're not tapping into that continuous learning, the prospects of that. And if somebody would ask, okay, host transform, what's the hosting, what's the transformation? If you apply yourself the exercises, how would you describe that? So who's the host and what does it mean?
Well, the host is basically the toolbox that's creating the exercises. So in that case, you can take on the position of the host,
right? Certified
and
host.
the certified host, but that doesn't have to be scary because the information is there and it's easy to follow. So then you can create an easy platform to do that. And the transformation can be anything. It's transforming my dialogue with my family. It's changing the way that I'm working as a freelancer, and it's even developing a business model into a business idea. So I think you're in the driving seat to learn how to use the exercises going forward. And the transformation is on every different level.
It's
possible.
Systemic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Systemic, even social.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's social is also a big word. Like socially, we just help people to make a social connection, not per se a business connection. It's kind of means to an end. But the social compound for me as well, the component is also about that we support social empowerment projects and give scholarships to people that cannot afford to join the program. So I see it as how many win-wins can you have, right?
Exactly.
It's like, why is this not the normal way of work?
If it could be the normal way of working, I think a lot of people would benefit from it. It is really a win-win setup, for sure.
Sometimes I think maybe I'm naive. There's still like something I haven't figured out but I only see the win-win-win impact.
For me it was like that also. I think that the opportunities are endless. And I think it makes you just in general feel more confident. It makes you feel like you don't have to feel afraid. You can actually make these steps to connect with people on every level. And it can just really also transform how you think about things. If you feel a bit stuck, or if you feel a bit afraid, or if you don't know what you want to do business-wise, or I think it can just really benefit to understand that there are tools available to help you with that.
So in a sense, it would be beneficial for people that are starting a freelance path, into becoming a consultant or a trainer or a coach or design thinker or whatever you call yourself. But it could also be someone that's perfectly happy in company, but wants to integrate that into their work ethos and to transform it into something more supportive and leading and learning.
Exactly. Yeah. This would be great for somebody who is a team manager or who works on global projects, or somebody who owns a company with diverse teams that maybe also are coming from diverse backgrounds. It's just
especially that,
a helpful tool to keep people connected.
Connecting the cultures to speak a common language. And because of that, you can be as diverse as heck.
Exactly. Exactly. And getting rid of the fear.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the ickiness.
Yeah.
And letting it flow. that's what I always think about this.
Well, I hope, we had really positive responses. We kind of already asked people, what do you think? We should do this more often. I think all hands went up.
Yeah, I think so.
So
too.
I hope, who knows, that next month you could host a session here. So you make your
my flying hours,
which is not an English word, but now it is.
Now it is. It's an official term.
And how would that make you feel that you could actually do those sessions more frequently without organizing the whole audience? And
well, that's a huge benefit to somebody who, for me as a freelancer, without maybe the network or the infrastructure to build an opportunity to do that. The flying hours are a great way to use the exercises and to actually hold the mic and interact with people.
Yeah.
That really helps to unlock some of the awkwardness at the beginning of how to do it. I think it gives me a lot of energy to interact with people on that level, and it would just motivate me even more
to do it more. Because now I also feel like, I want to give more sessions again. It's so contagious.
It is. It is. I think, and that's what I really like about it too. The few sessions I've done have been very energizing, and the feedback has been very positive, and it makes me want to do them more often.
Yeah. So. And what I'm still surprised by, happily surprised, is that it's low threshold, yes, and you can do it on your perfect Marcella way, Yeah. Of course, there's always things to little bit improve. Yeah. But to have the intention there to connect people, you cannot really screw it up, so to speak.
No, that's a good
so
message,
funny.
Actually. Yeah, because I don't know if I can. I think I would probably do it exactly like in the way I would be wired, my own way. And I think that's a really good message, because not everyone can do it exactly the same as you, but I don't think that needs to happen. I think it's just about the effort of doing it yourself with your own tools, and then that also gives you some feedback of that's what I'm good at, that's what I find less comfortable. These are the areas. These are the areas I want to find out more about exactly. So it's a great learning tool as well.
Yeah, it's kind of even though if people wouldn't have the desire to become a certified trainer and make their living out of it, to provide a session on itself is already a personal leadership experience. Like, hey, I feel like I want to save the group. Oh wait, no, this is their own process. I want to be perfect. Oh no, there's not such things as perfect. Hey, I prepared this whole design, but now I'm talking naturally about what just happened, and I connect things in the moment.
Yeah.
Which is what people want nowadays, storytelling based on authenticity. I mean, I prepared the whole speech on forehand, but I didn't even use it because I felt I'm in sync with myself. This is what I want to say right now. This makes sense for me, and I resonated with that. And if I would have just grabbed to my design, then it would have sounded most probably very artificial.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it just flowed. It just flowed, and it was really easy to follow, and it helped people to connect immediately. So
it's also giving you presentation skills in a sense, and storytelling skills. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Marcelle, for being so elaborative on your own experience, and I hope you guys can meet her soon online. She can guide you through the program better than I maybe by now. And looking forward to see what's next, because this is, of course, a continuous learning journey.
Definitely, yeah. Cool. Well, thank you very much. I enjoyed coming here today.